Hi everyone, Nicola again. 2 weeks in a row. I thought it would be a good opportunity to let you know about a card that I pulled yesterday from my Oracle deck. And this one's about compassion. And that one's using a really high vibrational crystal called Ahoite. And so it's a very high vibrational card, and it's a card that I don't normally pull out very often. And I've noticed that other people are pulling out very high vibrational cards out of the deck that I don't normally see appear very much. So I thought it was a really good time to talk to you about what this card means and how we can apply it at the moment. So this card is all about seeing things from a higher perspective, not as in looking down at people, but looking at it from a wider view. And when I think about compassion, I think about the duality of everything. So for me, compassion is about looking at a situation or looking at people or looking at whatever you need to look at in a different way. So what we see or perceive to be a negative situation has always got a positive outcome as well. So this comes down to the whole yin-yang theory. That's what I call duality. It's all about the yin. If we go back to the yin-yang, there is light within the dark and there's dark within the light. And the two can't exist without each other. And that goes for everything in the universe. It's the whole male, female perspective. It's the whole fire and cold. It's duality. So when we're looking at the situation of what's going on at the moment, there is a lot of panic, there's a lot of fear, and that is all natural. But the thing that we need to be looking at is the fear will come up, the anxiety will come up. For me yesterday, it came up. But we need to put things in perspective as well. And that's where we bring in our logical brain to kind of break it down. And for me, I break down everything into little steps. So if I find someone's behavior frustrating with all the panic buying, we need to look at it from a compassionate point of view. And we need to look at it at the face value of, yes, we may not agree with it, but we have to understand that people express their fear and their anxiety in many different ways, and we all have different coping mechanisms. And the opposite of judgment is compassion. So there's the duality. You know, we learn a lot from judgment. That's how we learn and we shape ourselves, and we can look at things and go, well, I don't want to be like that. I will be the opposite. So judgment, you know, I never say don't do anything. You know, everything is there for us to learn from. But when judgment gets out of control, so if we're looking at someone's behavior and we're so angry with them for what they're doing, that is sparking up emotions that we don't need to be feeling right now. We need to be finding our peace and finding our calm and finding our center. And I know that's extremely difficult in these circumstances. But if we look at it from a different point of view and we see why they're doing it, you know, they may not have ever experienced anything that's caused them to panic or fear, and they're doing things out of instinct. It's primitive, you know, human nature. The other thing is you know, this looking at things from a different perspective of this whole situation that's going on. It's kind of like the pause, stop, and reset button that everyone's been wanting for this entire planet. So we have to look at things from a different perspective. You know, the gravity of the situation is tragic. The deaths are tragic. I'm not denying that everything that's happening is horrible. I'm just saying that we need to look at it from reasons why it may be happening, or finding the positive out of what is happening. We're all getting that chance to maybe sit back and relax and do the things that we've really needed to be doing. Under the circumstances, it's not a wonderful thing to be going through, and a lot of people are feeling that fear and anxiety around their jobs and around their financial security. But it's also a time for reaching out for others for help in creative ways. So this is where the communities will start coming together the way they used to be. This is the tribal village that is so needed that Western society has lost. And so we need to be embracing some of the old ways of growing some of our own vegetables. When we have surplus, we, give them free to people. We do exchanges. It's about that coming together to helping everyone. It's about checking on your elderly neighbours, to see if we left our phone numbers with our elderly neighbour just to make sure that if she needed anybody, she could call us. It's about those little acts of kindness to help us get through everything. And I sense that we will get through this a lot stronger. Life will be somewhat different, but for many of us, we will have found a community and we will have found a new way of looking at things. We will come out of this refreshed, and we will come out of this different people. So when we look at things compassionately, I feel that's how we find our inner peace, because we're no longer reactive. We're no longer feeling anger towards people. We're understanding more. And it gives us more understanding about ourselves too. I mean, we can look down our nose and judge people, but it's not going to get us anywhere. And I know judging by my actions and who I was when I was a younger person, I'd be looking down my nose at who I was then as well. And I know how far I've come in my time. And so it's all about understanding that everybody is on a different level of their evolution, their soul evolution, and their lessons that they're learning. So if we can all learn to band together and just appreciate what we have in the now, be compassionate, less judgment, I think the world will come to a new sense of peace. So that's all I have to say today, and I might check in again next week with another card to see how things are going.